beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. So today, my friends, I do have a quick little review for you for the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle. I do want to say first off, I do apologize for my background situation. We just moved into a new house, so there is not a single wall on my house that is like background ready yet, so you get to deal with my empty room. But if you guys are already following me on TikTok and Instagram, you have already seen that I had this. I don't know if I posted it on Instagram, to be honest. I think it might have been Facebook and TikTok, but you guys already know my socials are in the link tree down below. Do all of that fun stuff if you would like to. This one is actually a really fun deck because I guess this comes partnered with a book series. I did not know anything about a book series when I got this. So quick little story, I just went to the bookstore and I barely had $20 on me and I wasn't looking for a deck, and I was like, if one really shouts to me and is under $20, I'll take that as my sign and I'll get it. But I wasn't really looking for one, and this one just caught my eye and I couldn't leave without it. So as you can see, it looks like very stunning imagery, right? Like I said, this one has a book series partnered with it, which is by PC Cast, called The House of Night. So every time I tell somebody I got this deck, they're like, oh, I love the book series. And I'm like, I didn't know anything about a book series. So it's a little embarrassing. I didn't know that. But the reason that I did get this is because it says that these are oracle cards, like messages from the goddess Nyx. And I have been learning a lot about the goddess Nyx lately. I am not currently working with anyone, not even my deities, just because of all of the moving and the stress and everything. But I have been learning a lot about the goddess Nyx, and you know, as algorithm-based platforms will have it, the more you look at something, the more you'll see it. And then it just so happened that this stunning Colette Baron Reed deck has to do with the goddess Nyx. So I have really been into Colette Baron Reed decks, and I just have never been able to get one. So I'm very stoked that this one is my first one. So if you guys haven't seen my walkthrough yet, I did already post one. You already know, I'll link it in the description box for you. But let's go ahead and just look at this book really quick as we do. You guys already saw in that walkthrough, it's a basic slide top box, nothing too special about this box, but it is a good sturdy box, which is nice. And if you look in this book, the beginning part of it is actually really interesting. There is a little like lore story in the beginning, and it says the story of the Oracle of Nyx, and I guess it's like a vampire, and she had visions or dreams of finding this thing hidden in a wall, and then she went and found it, and it, you know, the goddess Nyx came to her through that. Supposedly she was like a daughter of the goddess Nyx, and she was meant to find that and, you know, be her oracle and translate the messages into this deck. So very interesting little story. I can see how like the book would be very alluring, especially to young adults. So this one, they do have a quick little purpose of the cards in here. How to use the cards, we love that. How to ask a question. It gives you examples of questions you can ask, examples of sample readings, a one-card reading. Yeah, it gives, I think the examples are really funny. One of the first one is, what do I need to know about my relationship with Jeff? And then you have a 2-card reading, choosing an extra card for clarity. 3-card readings, examples of 3-card readings. So I love when decks will take the time to account for the fact that beginners that don't know anything about tarot or oracle could stumble on this deck, and they do take the time to walk them through it a little bit and take a little bit of responsibility for who could be picking up this deck. That's always a huge bonus for me when like recommending a deck. I don't like when someone doesn't have any account for beginners in their book. You guys already know that's a big thing to me. But then you have your cards in here. So every single card all the way through looks like this. There are 50 cards, and you have the image, you have a little like divination message right here, and then you have just kind of a quick explanation of that message here. And like I said, it looks like that all the way through for all 50 cards, and I don't think there's anything else at the end. that's it. So sweet little book there. Points from me for, you know, taking account for your beginners. I love that. And one thing that I did want to talk about with this deck that I thought was super interesting is that it has pointy corners. I didn't realize it until I was holding this deck. I don't think I've ever met a tarot or oracle deck that had pointy corners. And it was just like, the second I opened it, I was like, oh, those are pointy. Like, that was literally the first thing that caught my eye. So I don't know how you feel about that. It doesn't bother me too much. It's just so different. And I didn't realize it was different until I saw it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's something we just don't think about. Like, tarot and oracle decks always have those little rounded corners, probably just for either aesthetics or comfort when shuffling. Do you know what I mean? These are not super glossed, as you can see there. There's kind of a very basic gloss on there, which is nice. They're not matte, they're not textured, they're just kind of basic. And you do have this shiny silver gilding on the sides, which is so nice. I haven't noticed any transfer with shuffling through these. I have started shuffling through them now after I did my walkthrough, and I mean, it's just kind of basic oracle cards. There's not much to say about them. You've got a number up here, you've got the title of the card down here. This is one thing that can make or break an oracle deck, in my opinion, because things like this, you know, this High Priestess card specifically, you are going to have to look up that definition. But for some of these, like lust and, you know, there's fulfillment and things like that, those can be read intuitively. They can help in they can help with guiding a tarot reading, especially if, you know, you're someone who likes to have more cards in your reading for pizzazz or whatever. That can help lead your reading a little bit, can help with clarification. But this is one of those decks that you might still need to keep the book handy, just because you do have very specific cards like the fledgling. You have the High Priestess of each element, so water, earth, fire, air, and then there are just some of them. High Priestess of Spirit too. Some of them are just very specific. They will have like goddess names on there too. Like this one says Vision and it has Aphrodite on there. So you do kind of have to look at the message on some of those. I don't think it's a big deal. Personally, to me, I usually will keep the book under the deck when I'm doing a reading with oracle cards, whether I use that deck intuitively or not. I feel like it's always just a good thing to have your book around when you are using oracle cards in a reading, whether you utilize it or not. Sometimes I know my guides will tell me to look up a specific meaning to get a very specific message for that client in either the tarot or oracle book. So like I said, I really like having the books around. It's not a huge deal to me. But if you are somebody who likes to read your oracle decks intuitively, don't want to think about a book being there, just know that there are maybe about 8 to 10 cards in here that do need that book specifically, okay? So all in all, I really love this deck. I am really vibing with the artwork. It's just, I haven't quite connected with it yet. It's entirely my fault though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm moving, I'm stressed out. I'm not trying to sit here and cleanse my space and do readings and everything. I'm just trying to get all of my stuff out of boxes at the moment. But I really do love how beautiful this deck is. Like, you can never go wrong with a Colette Baron Reid deck. I think if you are a young adult that likes the House of Night series, you're probably gonna already know about this deck. You probably already have feelings about this deck preconceived before you even look at it, right? Like I said, I really think it's interesting going into this that I didn't know anything about the book series. So I went into this a little bit differently. I just had a complete open mind and I was drawn to it because it had beautiful imagery. It's a Colette Baron Reid deck and it had those really simple words at the bottom, and it's just stunning, right? And then it has to do with the goddess Nyx. So all of that attracted me to the deck without knowing anything about it previous to that. So you guys already know, in all of my videos. I will link below where you can find the deck on Amazon. I do want to put a precursor in here for anyone who's brand new to my channel as saying, when I put Amazon links, I do highly vet the link before I put it in there. I don't just throw whatever link in there. But if you guys are the type of people that do not order from Amazon, don't trust Amazon, don't like Amazon, you can get this at Barnes & Noble. That's where I got it. Barnes & Noble is a very highly trusted source for a lot of tarot publishers now, and the collection of tarot and oracle decks that I saw at my Barnes & Noble was outstanding compared to a couple of years ago when I first started buying tarot and oracle decks. There was maybe 5 to 10 decks there a couple of years ago, and now there were like 200 decks on a shelf. So if you guys have a Barnes & Noble around you, if you are so lucky, definitely go check out your local witchy section in your Barnes & Noble, because they have upped their game substantially with the selection. So definitely go check that out if you are able. I would say be careful with buying from like indie witchy shops, because as we know, some of them will take the easy and cheap route and buy the knockoffs in bulk. But when I put the Amazon link, I do make sure it is from the author, the artist, the publisher. I make sure it is the correct link, and I look at all of that before I give you guys the link, okay? So that's all I gotta say about this. I don't have too much to say about it. I'm just so blown away by the imagery. They're such stunning images. I wish that I have had the time to like actually read with it and partner it in a tarot reading so that I can give you guys kind of an example of the energy that it gives me personally. But I think it's better if I don't tell you the energy that it gives me anyways, so that you can have your own connection with the deck and you can kind of figure that out for yourself and you don't have expectations, right? So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was super quick. Like I said, definitely go check out the walkthrough if you're interested in this deck and you haven't seen the walkthrough already. And you already know my link tree is in the description box as well. And I just want to say thank you guys so much. I watch my subscribers climbing constantly, and it just warms my little heart. It makes me so very happy that even when I'm taking a break and I'm like stressed out and I can't even think about anything, my channel's still surviving. So thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. You guys already know you are the best. I love you all so much, and if you made it to the end, please give me a big old thumbs up. You know that that helps me out so much, and it's a free way that you can support my channel. I do also want to say, for a quick note, for those of you guys who are tracking, my wish lists are up and running. So my Amazon tarot, oracle, and book wish lists are back up and running. So I had those activated the second I got my new address. I will have the shop still on vacation for a little bit until I get all of my boxes up in my room and put together and everything. Like, I know where all of the shop stuff is, but if I were to get an order right now and I'd have to go down 3 flights of stairs to go get my shop boxes, go through all of that and try to put together an order, it would be such a headache right now. So I'll probably leave it on vacation for another week, 2 at the most. I'm trying not to push it that far, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get some new stuff in the shop as well by the time that I get that up and running. So I really am so very grateful for each and every one of you that are here with me still. You guys are the absolute best, and I hope that wherever you are, when this video reaches you, you have a beautiful, wonderful day, my friends, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Namaste.